Hey guys, this is Grace and welcome to my channel and welcome to a new series and the first video of that series. Before I move on to the actual series and the theme, I wanted to share with you this magazine slash book that I've had for many years. It is from the now closed Simple Scrapbooks, and it has lots of questions and journaling prompts. I am using this best and worst, but I wanted to share it with you because this is one of my favorite magazines slash books that I own. I know it's a very old one, so if you have it, I say keep it. If you don't have it, maybe check on eBay. But also Pinterest has a lot of journaling prompts as well. And then I'm using this paper pad from Webster's Pages. I've had this for a while and I haven't used it, and I really love the colors of it. I'm actually going to use it for two layouts for this series, but let's get started on this one first. So as you have noticed in the title, this is going to be an 8.5 by 11 series. A subscriber had requested for me to create a series like this, and I've made some 8.5 by 11 pages before, but it's been a long time. I actually just make 8.5 by 11 for what I consider my me pages. Those are the pages about me from my childhood, and then whatever kind of pages that I want to do just for me. I do create some 12 by 12 for me as well, but I tried to keep them 8.5 by 11 so that I will have them sorted in the proper album. So anyways, this is going to be a single page layout for me, and the first layout that I'm going to create is a kind of current journaling type of page. I think that's one of the many ways that I use 8.5 by 11 page for, because a lot of it is like my me page. So when I want to do some kind of a journaling of like currently or things that just talked about me, then I would go with an 8.5 by 11. But again, I rarely make this just because all my family books, all of my kids' albums, all of that are all 12 by 12, but I still make them once in a while. So I decided to, why not videotape me creating some 8.5 by 11 pages. And in this series, I'm going to try to show you kind of how, like, if you don't do 8.5 by 11 so much, or you're thinking of it, maybe some of the ways that you can incorporate your existing 12 by or the way we create our 12 by 12 pages and put that in the 8.5 by 11 canvas. All right, so initially what I thought was that I'm just gonna have those strips or the answers to the questions be in one whole strip and then put that maybe on the left or the right of the page. But I felt like it was just too blocky and it will fill up a big part of the page and I wouldn't have any room to decorate. And then I thought, well, maybe I can make it like go around my 3x4 photo, but then it just wouldn't fit. I know one of the reasons why I struggle with 8.5 by 11 now is because I'm so used to the space of a 12 by 12 and a 12 by 24. It is so hard to just pare down everything. And what I've noticed that what I will do in these pages that I'm going to create is that make sure that I am using a smaller size photo, which is not that hard because I have been using 3x4s for a while now, maybe I would say like 3 or 4 years. So it's not that hard. But I think if you would go with smaller, like maybe 1x2 or 2x2, then I think you will have a better sizing. Is that the right word I'm thinking of? Like it will match better with the size of your canvas or your paper that you're using. The one good thing about 8.5 by 11 pages is that you don't have to buy special sheet protectors and special albums. And I'm going to show you how I store my 8.5 by 11 pages in video, I think video number 6. So make sure that you watch out for that. And if you are not subscribed yet, I hope that you will consider to subscribe so you will catch, or that YouTube will notify you of the next videos that I post. Also, make sure to hit that bell button. All right, so let's go back to the layout. As you can see, I'm kind of doing a very simple design here. I did that swan. That's going to be like the main block of pattern on this page. And then I have that floral blue on the bottom. And then the stripe. I actually found that stripe in the like the 1/2 inch branding strip from the pattern paper. It wasn't a full 12-inch, but it was a good enough size that it can go over the floral and that swan paper, kind of like, to cover the seams up. And then I'm thinking, well, it needs a little bit more something. And so I'm just kind of going through. I want to do a border, a punch border, either on the top or on the bottom of that pink striped paper, but I'm trying to figure out which paper I wanted to use. It has to be something that has a somewhat subtle color, but at the same time that it would still stand out from, against the color of the background. And I'm using my trusty scallop punch from Fiskars. That's one of my favorite punches, and I'm just using that to create the scallop. I'm also using some of the 3x4 papers in one of the cut apart sheets. I'm going to use, I used one of them to mat my photo. I did trim my photo just a little bit because it's the same size as the card, and so I trimmed that out a little bit. And then so I'm double matting my photo, and I matted that with the craft cardstock. I did gut my 8.5 by 11 page because that's what I do with my 12 by 12, so I wanted to see how that was going to go with this particular size. Honestly, you don't have to do that, but it's kind of nice to do it so that if you don't have many of that particular sheet of paper, then you can use the smaller piece or the paper that you had got to use as matting or any other thing that would help kind of blend all of the colors on your page. And then I decided I will put all of those strips of journaling on the right side, but then I'm just kind of, is that staggering or kind of steps type of thing, design for them. Like they're not in one whole line, if that makes any sense. So I really enjoyed answering the prompts. The prompts were, like I said, it's best and worst. So there's your worst cooking disaster, your best dish that you had made, the worst day in the week for you, the best day of the week, the age of your life that you think is the worst, and the age of the life that you think is the best. And what else? Oh, the best movie, your favorite movie, and then the worst movie that you've ever watched, your finest accomplishment thus far, things like that. And I just did some random things like best day of the week. I would say for me right now, my favorite is Friday because it just signals the weekend. And the usually I can sleep in. Usually I say that usually because, as an adult, you can never sleep in anymore. But usually I like Fridays because I can turn off my alarm and I can sleep in on Saturday morning. And then my worst day is Monday because it's the beginning of the week and, it just gets busy. One of my finest cooking accomplishment, not really, I don't know if it's accomplishment, but it was an idea that I thought about in the beginning of 2021. And so my family and we do this, what we call Tolman Eats Around the World. I created a hashtag for that just so that I can remember to pull that up when time to document all of the foods. But basically, every 2 weeks on a Sunday, I make some food is the, I don't want to say the specialty, but it is region specific or country specific. Like we'll make something that is from Argentina or from Canada and things like that. And the family has loved it. We all have our favorites. And it's just a fun, interesting way of eating and trying to get to know different cultures through the food. So that's what I wrote there. Let's go back to the layout here just for a few minutes. So again, the biggest difficulty that I have for this particular size is that there's not enough space. And so I'm trying to add my embellishments. And as you can see, I'd cut up some flowers, and that just really brings like the daintiness that I wanted to convey, because this is a kind of a more feminine page. So I'm adding that. And I really don't have much room to add the florals in there. Otherwise, it's just going to be covered by the journaling or the photos. So I specifically cut out like the ones that are really on the edge of the paper there. I wanted to do something bigger, but that big floral pattern paper on the bottom is already, has already a big design, and I didn't want to cover that up. And then my title will be Best and Worst. I am combining two different thickers here, the foam pink stickers that I've had for a while now, and then that big ampersand or and sign there that's gold. I thought that would be nice. And I will be kind of layering them over each other again, because this page is, or the space is very small. I have to layer things over each other. So if you like layering, putting papers over each other, or just have things peeking out, then this is a really good size for you. And also another thing that you will take into consideration is that the amount of photos. Now, I am normally a multi-photo scrapper, but because of the space of this is, yeah, I'm only going to be able to do a single photo. I do have a couple more photos of this when I took this image, and I just couldn't fit them in with all of the journaling that I have. Then I'm just going to do a little bit more decoration. I pulled all these images out from the 2x2 paper that was also a part of the kit or the collection, and I'm just going to add that to the bottom and then call it good. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. If you have any questions, make sure to leave it in the comment section below, and let me know if you are 8.5 by 11 type of scrapper, and what do you think of my page. And I hope that if you are, that you will play along, and if you do, then tag me or add the link to the comment section so I can be inspired by what you create. And then basically here, I'm just adding a few more things to decorate. I don't know if I did mention, but I inked up the edges of each of those journaling blocks just to make them stand out a little bit more on the page. And I like the way this looks. It's a little busy at first, but I feel like I tried to put, or kept it balanced, as that's what I'm telling myself anyways, with the journaling and also the photos and the decorations or the art. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys another day. Bye.